All right, guys, welcome back to the Uncaught Exceptions podcast. Today we got me, Paris, Krystal, and Andrew, the usual, and we have a special guest, Alysia. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Alysia and I go by CryptoClasses here on TikTok. I push out content about educating around blockchain and cryptocurrencies. I worked as a blockchain data engineer. I'm now a blockchain consultant, and I also studied computing up to master's level. So I'm also part of TechTok as well.
You are classic TechTok. You're one of our OG crew.
Yes.
Yeah, you are. Anyway, welcome. We've been anticipating this, but we've just had we've been waiting since February to have it. You're a hot commodity.
I'm honestly so excited for this.
We are too. All right, well, let's get right into it, guys. What are you working on? What projects are you into right now? What kind of let's.
Well, obviously, you guys couldn't get me at a better time because, the crypto markets are going crazy at the moment. But that aside, I have been spending my time just like educating people about investing into cryptocurrencies. When I first created my crypto or my TikTok page, it was mostly to teach engineers actually about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. But engineers just didn't care. And I think now, because it's a bull cycle, everyone wants to invest into crypto. So I've definitely been doubling down on offering my blockchain consultancy services to mostly investors. And then for myself, I am just trying to educate. So that's my main job right now, educating crypto and helping people find investing opportunities.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that makes sense though, that engineers aren't really interested in learning from other engineers. We have a God complex. It's like, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I just think that, I don't know how it is for you in your school right now, because I know you're still doing your degree, right? But maybe blockchain technology isn't taught as much as an opportunity for you to actually work in. Is that the case?
It's not taught at all. It's not taught at all. Because school curriculum is always going to be a little outdated.
Yeah.
And on top of it already being outdated, blockchain technology becoming so popular so recently, they may start teaching it, but it's not on the main curriculum at all.
Exactly. So I think probably that's why engineers who are taught like, okay, go work for Google, go work for Facebook, they're not thinking about working for a random startup that's doing blockchain necessarily straight out of graduating. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why crypto and tech talk didn't really mesh at the time when I started. Maybe a year from now, you'd see more people interested in it who are engineers themselves.
Yeah, true.
Definitely.
We have Paras, who's like our in-house blockchain guy.
No, I hate when Krystal does that. She
don't be shy.
She frames me as an expert. I'm nowhere close.
I'm framing him, guys. I'm hyping my friend up, but I'm framing him.
It's too much hype, dude. I can't live up to the hype, dude. Too much.
I know you are into blockchain power, so let me know what you've been working on. I'm really excited to hear all of your new projects.
Yeah, just kind of working on an NFT marketplace right now. I can reel you in on the details later, but I actually pivoted a lot from. I remember reaching out to you like months ago now about my original idea. It's like changed a lot from that point, so I'll definitely update you on that.
So what got you, I guess, Alysia, so what got you interested in blockchain originally?
To be honest, I didn't learn it at school either. No surprise there. But I did specialize in distributed systems when I did my master's. So I was always curious about solving the problem of building distributed algorithms. But I didn't work in that area. And then when I was working as a data engineer for Virgin Wi-Fi, one of my friend's sisters headhunted me for a role at Consensus. And that's when I learned about Ethereum. And I was like, whoa, you could program on the blockchain. That's so freaking cool. Because to be honest, I never really cared about Bitcoin. So then when I learned about you can program on the blockchain, I started going to a whole bunch of meetups, like after work, and meeting a whole bunch of people who came from different walks of life. And then I thought, hey, I think I actually want to work in this field. So I then started looking for a role that was actually blockchain and data engineering. And I thought it would never exist. And then I found one 2 weeks later after searching, and I was like, what the hell? This is a sign. So I applied, and the rest is history.
That's awesome.
So wait, are you like working with blockchain at work too?
Right.
Or
So
is this just something you do outside of work?
So I was working at blockchain and
You
work for
were.
2 years, yeah, since 2018.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what were you doing specifically for blockchain?
So as a blockchain data engineer, the kind of things I had to do at my job, because I don't know how popular that role is, I was responsible for setting up all the blockchain nodes. So that's Ethereum, that's Ripple, that's Zilliqa. So when you set up a blockchain node, what that means is that you're actually joining the network and you're validating transactions and doing all that cool stuff. And after setting up the blockchain nodes, I would have to then gather the data, process it, put it into a regular database so that other people in the team can have access to it and process it. And in that company, we were responsible for finding all the bad actors in the blockchain. So people who are doing crime,
Yeah,
whether it's
some
like
whatever malicious people are on the chain.
Exactly. So that was my first exposure to blockchain, which isn't great because you learn about all the bad stuff and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so like what are resources that you use like when you first started like learning blockchain? Because like you mentioned and like I mentioned, like in school they don't teach it at all. And I know a lot of kids that like want to get into it, but they just don't know, or they're asking for classes like this, but they just don't know who to ask or what resources they have.
To be quite frank, like a lot of the learning was on the job. And I think you'd find that a lot for any software engineer. Like you learn so many things at school and you may use one small module from your degree in your job. So it's the same here with blockchain. A lot of the learning was on the job. In terms of resources, literally google.com, whatever issue I had, I Googled it and I found the solution. I can't say there was one place I would get resources from, but there are two books I really recommend, especially for engineers. And they're both written by the same guy who's called Antonopoulos. It's Greek, so I can't pronounce it. But basically, it's called Mastering Bitcoin and Mastering Ethereum. I think every single developer should read this book. And even if you're not a developer, it's still a really good read. So I'd recommend that for anyone who is seriously confused about the whole system and why it exists. And then from there, there's so many resources on YouTube. But for me, it was all learning on my own and from the job.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure to put that in the description then. Like, just make sure to give us the title, like when we're done, so we can put it in there. Because I know a lot of kids are going to be asking for this.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
maybe we can kind of, go ahead, Andrew.
Sorry, I was just going to ask you, so you were working as a blockchain developer before, but now you aren't. So you left for some reason. And where did you go to?
So I worked from 2018 to 2020 as a blockchain data engineer. And in 2020, when the market crashed around March because of the pandemic or the panoramic or whatever we're calling it now, my company, so the company that I worked for, they laid off a third of their company and I was one of them. So it was a situation where I could jump in to another company and work, or I could create a career for myself. And since I always wanted the idea of not having a 9-to-5 job, I was like, well, maybe now is the time. So I took like a good time off just doing my own thing, jumped on TikTok for a bit, and then eventually I'm like, okay, cool, I'll just offer my consultancy service to whoever wants it. And obviously when you have a presence online, it's so much easier for people to find you and know about you that you literally have so many people contacting you and it's such a nice experience. So
I agree.
Dude, really, like I've been honestly thinking of making a course. Like so many people, like every day they ask me, yo, teach me how to code, like tutor me. And I'm like, dude, I don't have time to tutor like 80 people, right? Like so many people. And it's like, I'm like, dang, I might like actually make a course. And I replied to one of the people today and I was like, yo, would you be interested in a course? And they said, yeah. So that's one person. That's one person. I need to find some more.
Slanging courses on the side.
Yeah, I think the good thing is people trust you because they follow you on social media. They feel like they're close with you. So even though there might be someone on YouTube teaching the exact same thing, because they know you as a person, they see you on live, they just have a relationship already. So I do appreciate that as well. Like I take courses from people I meet online as well because I feel like, okay, I trust you. I like the way you think. So
yeah. I think that's the best thing, and that's why I feel like a lot of people trust like the people they watch, right? It's
Right.
like you kind of see their perspective, you agree with their perspective. That's why you're watching them in the first place, right? So it's like
Sure.
when they recommend something to you, it's like, oh, I should definitely check that out because, it's like someone with similar ideas,
Yeah.
to yourself.
Yeah.
Right, but it's like that thing, right? Like we're like in an information bubble. So like we're not in the information age anymore. We're in the age where we need to condense
There's too
down
much. There's too much information.
the more
Yeah.
important stuff and like
Mhm.
kind of condense it down and then package it in a way where it's not so overwhelming and you're getting the necessary
Exactly.
information.
Exactly.
So that makes sense.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's the whole reason I got into like teaching like about code and shit. Because when I initially started, dude, like school doesn't teach you half the stuff that you actually need to know in real life, like in terms of like coding stuff, like making your own websites and things like this. It's like school doesn't teach you that. They teach you theory, data structures and algorithms, and that's it. That's all they teach you. And then the rest you have to learn yourself. So it's like, that's one of the reasons I started. I was like, damn, like I should show people how to do this. Like it's now that I know, it's so easy to just point it out, but it's like when you don't know, you're like completely lost in a lot of these cases.
I think you don't even know where to start. Like, what do you
Exactly.
even Google? Like, if I'm like, okay, I want to learn crypto, what do I Google first? Do I Google how money works? Do I Google
Right.
how a node works, how a server works? Like, where do I start? And I think that's why
Exactly.
someone with experience can really help
Yeah.
guide you.
Yeah, no, that's why I originally reached out to you, because I knew you knew way more about crypto than
Yeah.
I did when I started.
Yeah.
I remember like when our server first started. I remember the time when Paris did ask you for all this like blockchain stuff, and you like sent like a whole list of like like listings, and I was like, all right, Paris is working on something right now. But yeah, this is exciting stuff. Except, I mean, let's talk about the crypto crash at the moment.
Yeah.
I think everyone's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
curious about if we're actually in the
If
bear
the bubble
market
popped,
now.
what if the
Yeah.
bubble popped, dude? The crypto bubble.
Yeah.
I saw something today. I forgot who said it. It was one of the bigger crypto creators. He said because there are so many more stable coins being minted, which means that they're anticipating a huge bull run.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's actually like accurate, but Alysia, I'm gonna let you.
So the reason why that statement would make some sense is that when you are trading cryptocurrencies, not every single trading pair exists. So for example, if you'd like to buy, let's just say Dogecoin for now, because everyone knows Dogecoin. There may not be the trading pair of like Dogecoin and Cuban pesos, for example. So if you're in Cuba and you want to buy Dogecoin, you would have to either get access to USD, which is still very hard to do, but it's so much easier to buy a token, like a stablecoin. So that's why when you see a lot of stablecoins being created, it means that they're anticipating a lot of people want to buy stablecoins to then buy crypto. Because no one is buying a stable coin just to have a stable coin. They're buying it to then buy crypto. So it's like the entryway for a lot of people.
Right.
So yeah. Are
So
you all investing into crypto?
Oh, I'm
I don't have that much in crypto.
My portfolio 95% crypto.
What's the value? What's the full value? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, right now, after the crash,
guys,
I don't want to talk about
Krystal's
it.
worth $100 billion.
No.
Just letting you guys know.
Let's be honest, guys. I'm not a ball-in software engineer like you guys get, so like it's not much, but
she arrives to her TikTok lives on a private jet. Like, let's
no, but like I did get rid of a lot of my just normal stocks. I did buy a ton of like blockchains, like stocks that are on the stock exchange. But aside from, I guess then would that be considered me being fully in like crypto then? Because I'm in like invested in the blockchain companies like Riot, but as well as like normal crypto. Like, I don't know.
Oh, you're in like, are you like invested in like the dApps and stuff? Like,
what do you mean?
Decentralized apps? Like, are you involved in
No,
those
so,
companies? Like, you
like-
invest in those, or like the actual
Okay, so like
crypto?
on the stock exchange, like companies like Riot is a Riot blockchain company. So I'm invested in them, and there are like
like they do like blockchain technology.
Yes, yes. So
Oh,
I'm
okay,
invested
okay,
in those because I got rid of most of my stocks except I bought into those. And now, but majority of my actual like money is in crypto.
I think
So
if you invested into like companies that are fully blockchain companies in the stock market, I would say you have 100% exposure into crypto. Reason being, they perform as well as the cryptocurrency markets
exactly,
perform.
yeah, they're not doing well right now.
So when crypto dies, they die. Like it's
Oh
Yeah.
that
yeah, it
simple.
died. I
So,
like
yes, if you have exposure to the stock market as well, I would recommend you diversify there. Invest in some like
Yeah,
blue chip
yeah,
companies.
yeah,
Don't let it be
yeah.
crypto as well because you're gonna
Right.
have the same exposure. Because people who invest in Riot, they're investing because like, oh, I already understand Bitcoin, but this is a company, I understand the stock, so I invest in Riot.
Yeah. I
exactly.
mean, I still have some, but you know, they're all in my Roth, so it's not like it's not.
Diversify your portfolio, dude.
I know. I just got rid of it because I got annoyed with it and I wanted more money to play with in crypto.
Yeah,
Or
But
just wait till it
same.
goes up and then sell. So
no, and that's I don't know. Cause like my thing too is like once I actually start making money, I'm just gonna probably invest in like index funds and ETFs and like
Right.
just let it sit in the Roth and like not worry about that so that I can just trade crypto because that's it's more fun for me.
I
It's
mean, first
yeah,
gambling.
and foremost, the fact that you're investing and you're in university, like congrats. I think that is absolutely amazing. I had savings and that's the most. I only started investing in the past like 2 to 3 years. So I
yeah.
think that is really amazing. So well done for that, even if you have full blockchain exposure. You're the future kid.
Literally. Like because like when the crypto market crashed, I was like, all right, let me go check my regular portfolio. And I was like, did that just drop did that just do the same thing? I was not happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in terms of
Yeah.
the crypto crash, let's talk about that because that was actually crazy. It started with Elon, it kind of ended with China, and then there was a random 4chan guy. It's like so much drama, if you ask me. One thing to
I'm
know
so
about
over Elon right now.
Yeah, let's talk. We'll get to that. Continue,
But
Alysia.
continue.
I think like the first thing I am learning about the world
Yeah,
because I am in crypto is the narrative. The narrative is everything. People do listen to facts anymore. Whether it's politics, whether it's crypto, whether it's about whatever, it's all about the narrative. Because, for example, when we were speaking about NFTs, they would say, oh, you know, if you have an NFT, you are powering a house if you do an NFT transaction. That makes no sense because the blockchain knows are operating 24/7, regardless of whether you do an NFT transaction, whether you do no transaction, whether you do some other type of transaction. So the narrative is trying to make people feel as soon as they execute an NFT transaction, they are powering a house for 1.5 months. When that is not how it works. But because A, blockchain is hard to understand, and then B, the narrative just made more sense to most people. They were like, oh, NFTs are bad. Similarly, with this crash that's happening, Elon Musk started off and said Tesla is no longer going to accept Bitcoin because of the energy consumption. And I thought that was really interesting because that's like 3 months after your company decided to accept Bitcoin. You guys did no due diligence, you did no research. All of a sudden, you just read the news one day
exactly,
and you
Yeah.
saw energy
exactly.
consumption as
I
a
think
concern.
the best way I like to phrase it is, would you spend $1.5 billion and not do your research? That's the most BS thing I've ever heard in my life. Like,
Yep.
I'm a huge Elon fan, and that's just BS. Like, I know that that's a BS, dude. Like, he's like they're practicing their market manipulation. And right when Tesla bought 1.5 bill, Bitcoin skyrocketed. Everyone was buying Bitcoin.
Yeah.
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 And so Tesla
Literally.
made a lot of money. And since it's not regulated, they don't need to tax any of it. They made a lot of money. They didn't sell it yet. But they made a lot of money during that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So that's like the first event that started off the whole going on. That happened last week, Wednesday. And when that announcement came and he said, don't worry, we're not going to sell our stocks. I was like, of course you're not, because the price is going to go down now. You need to pump that shit again. So
Exactly.
I wasn't worried. I was just like, yeah, okay, this is fun. Whatever, people are going to buy in. Tesla, I mean, Elon is getting his friends to buy Bitcoin because they probably just joined in. No problem. And then over the weekend, I think someone tweeted that Tesla sold their shares. And then Elon
Oh yeah,
replied to
that
that
went
tweet.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Elon replied saying, indeed, meaning confirming this. So obviously people are like, what the fudge? How the hell did Tesla sell? Why did you sell? So obviously people lost more feet, especially if you bought Bitcoin because you believe in Tesla, you believe in Elon. And then a day later, he tweeted saying, oh no, that wasn't true. You didn't actually sell. So why would you
Dude,
say
it's market, dude. It's market manipulation, dude. It's 100% market manipulation. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't even know how to like put it in perspective because I used to think like, oh, Elon Musk is like a good guy, like he's decently ethical, you know. But like, dude, this is dumb. Like, you can clearly see he's using his little Elon Musk fans, like the fanboys, right, and just manipulating them and being like, oh, buy Bitcoin now, sell Bitcoin now, buy Dogecoin, sell Dogecoin, right? Like, you can see he's just messing around to see what happens.
Because what better market to be able to do market manipulation like trials is like the crypto market, right? Like it's perfect market to be able to do something like this.
There's not that much regulation yet around it because
there's no regulation. There's basically none.
Right.
There's a little,
but like
yeah.
But yeah, I was that was like, dude, I don't know, like I was completely fine until basically the Tesla stuff like was the point where I'm like, dude, what's going on? Like I was fine with him tweeting, but like after Tesla pulled out, you know, like you know what I'm saying?
Like him tweeting about it, cool. It's basically giving a stamp of approval and like, you know, he pumped the market. But then like he went the opposite way and it's like you fucked over like so many people that bought in because of you.
Yeah. Well, again, that's a good point. People should realize if you're investing, you're spending, especially money that you can't afford to lose. You shouldn't just do it because Elon Musk, who has a massive dump truck of money, is doing things. His company is investing. He didn't even talk about himself. Like, so think about that.
And like this is what I was talking with my friends the other day. I was like, imagine if we don't know what's going on with Elon's own wallet. Whenever he was tweeting that out, imagine him buying $100 million of Bitcoin the day before he tweeted about Bitcoin. Who would ever know? No one would ever know, right?
Literally no one.
You wouldn't know. So that's where I'm like, after the Tesla stuff is when I thought about that, right? I didn't think about it before. I'm like, oh, it's just a harmless tweet, whatever, right? But then when it gets to where he's putting actual money in there, and I'm like, oh, dang, this is not good.
But and like when he was doing the Doge stuff only, and obviously clearly it's his social media manager, it's not him pushing these buttons on Twitter.
You think so? You think so? I feel like he tweets. I feel like he's tweeting some of these.
I feel like
no celebrity on that caliber is doing their own tweets, guys.
You think
like,
so?
I know this.
I know Kevin Durant is. I know Kevin Durant is. I don't know if you guys know about Kevin Durant, but I know he is.
I mean, like he may be doing some of it. But his social media is very strategic. That is a social media manager managing it. Like, and like, I know because I know the strategies that they're using and it's fine. It's good. When he was pumping Doge, cool. He was helping the people. But then like, again, I know, right?
Or himself, right?
He was doing it for clout and, you know, he got the clout. Like,
dude, now I'm seeing the other side of it, right? Like maybe I'm not saying like for sure, but like, dude, these billionaires are billionaires for a reason, right? They didn't give an F about anyone else in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So
this is a strong statement from Paras because Paras was an Elon stan for life before this.
Now I'm seeing the other side, dude. This really ticked me off. I was pretty ticked.
That's interesting, especially because you're not actively investing. I find that so interesting that it ticks you off.
No, I mean I'm invested in Bitcoin too. Like I have some money in Bitcoin, but like not that much. But like just the idea of it's like, dude, you knew literally everyone and their mom knew. I knew back in 2018 that there was large carbon emissions coming with Bitcoin. Like everyone knew that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like who did not know that? You know what I'm saying? And then Tesla, a quote unquote green company, right?
Exactly.
Where even though they're acting green, there's like super factories are like having hella carbon emissions anyway. Right? So I'm just saying, like, they're not actually that green. Like these lithium batteries aren't that green. You know what I'm saying? So,
and also the fact that most
the
of
reality is a lot different.
Comes from fossil fuels, anyways.
Exactly.
Electricity isn't even fully green yet.
Electricity literally comes from coal. Like 90% of it comes from coal in the U.S. at least. Like,
jeez.
So
I just hope that people who were observing these tweets, if they do
yeah,
follow celebrities, I hope this open their eyes, because you actually see someone flip flop, you see them lie and then
yeah,
repent, you know. So it's like, how could you see that and still follow him? And if people still do, it's really
yeah.
scary, because
No,
obviously,
yeah. It's like I'm not totally off. Like I don't hate him, but it's like
yeah,
now I'm so much more skeptical. Every move he
yeah,
makes, I'm gonna be skeptical about all the moves now. You know,
yeah,
like that's what it's done for me.
yeah. And I think for that, it's the same
Yeah,
when you read the news. If you see a news article and you see a headline,
yeah,
please just even click the link and read it. Even the same
yeah.
article
Read the
would
whole thing.
actually,
Yes.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
today, there was an article that said 46% of hedge funds are invested into Bitcoin. And as you know,
Mm-hmm.
today the market was green. There was a lot of positive news in the market
Yep.
today. When you click the link and you read the article, you see that only 20% have actually invested, and then the other 26% plan to invest this year. So I see
Mm-hmm.
why they would have aggregated the figure and made the, it's clickbait.
Yeah.
I get it,
Exactly.
but it's just someone would just read that and be like, "Yo, this is a sign. I'm going to put all of my money into Bitcoin now
Yes.
because 46% of the hedge funds have." When they're just like, they're still thinking themselves.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's like
Right.
all these, yeah, that's how the internet works, right? It's all clickbait now, right? Like, and what people do, they don't even go like into the art, they don't even read that, right? Like, no one has time to read nowadays. That's how lazy people are. They're just gonna read the headline and act like they read the article, and like spew that information to other people. And that's just how
Yeah.
the internet works right now. Like, no one actually knows what they're saying.
And that goes back to the thing you said earlier about it's because like there's so much information we're consuming every day.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Whereas before, people would actually sit down and read newspaper articles, but you don't have time to do that
No,
anymore.
now people are getting news from TikTok, dude. Even I'm getting news from
Yep.
TikTok.
Even I'm
Same.
getting, we're all getting news from TikTok.
That's our new newspaper.
So it's like, dude, there's no way you're getting like proper news in 15 seconds. Like, there's no way that's
No.
happening, and that's what we're doing already. So it's like we're already screwing ourselves over in a way.
I
Like,
mean, I'd like to beg to differ because I feel like Alysia puts out like news content that
well,
has
no, at least
crypto and
like
it's like
I
legit.
think that's
Like
good, but like even on each topic Alicia is talking about, I feel like you should read some like Alicia's
Yeah.
covering
right,
like
no,
the
of
highlights,
course,
right? It's
exactly.
like you should
Right.
go in and read each of those too. Like you shouldn't
Mhm.
just like just take them. Even with mine, like you shouldn't just take like, oh yeah, this repo's cool, go tell other people. Actually look at how it works, right? Like go
But
check it out. Like
this
people
goes
don't
back
do
to
that.
what we were
People
saying
don't do it.
earlier, how like we're getting the trust of our followers so that they
Yes.
do follow what we do. So it's like,
Yeah, and
what do we want
it's
really?
bad though. It's bad. Like what we should want is that we're not gods. Everyone makes mistakes, right? So
Right,
it's
right,
like
right,
you
right.
take our information and then you
Yeah.
go learn it yourself, right? Like we give you a basis point of where to
Yeah.
start, and it's like now you go and look at like a little bit deeper on the topic. Like you should never take it for surface value and be like, yo, that's the 100% the truth.
Well, what I usually do with Alicia, like I will already have things that I need to know. Like I would have
Yeah,
already done my research and I'll ask her, what do you think about this coin? And
exactly.
then I'll take her advice
That's an
on what
educated perspective, right? Like you did your
yeah.
own research and then went to Alicia and got some highlights on what's going
Right.
on, right? Like
Right.
that's the way you should do it. But people aren't even doing the baseline. They don't care. They're just watching that, absorbing, and then they regurgitate it later, and then no one knows what's going on. Like.
And
So
you went away for a little bit.
yeah, you
Me
did.
personally, so a lot of the content that I get is not necessarily the value that I find in it is not informational. It's more persuasive. For example,
Okay.
like I already know that you should invest in a 401k, but like I wasn't
Mhm.
really paying attention to it for such a long time until I
Yeah.
saw like, for example, like a TikTok that said, "Oh, this is why you should invest in a 401k because like
Okay.
these are the
Yeah.
returns you could get." I'm like, okay, maybe I should. So
Right.
then now I started investing more in my 401k. But that the value was like someone persuaded me to do that. Like you should care about this.
Right.
Like kind of like you, Alicia. Like you're kind of like persuading people to like care more about crypto because
Definitely.
you think that there's
Yeah.
a lot of potential. If that makes any
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's
Wait.
good. Like I guess there's two types of information, right? Like it's like, oh, you should look into this, right? Like that's what you're saying, Andrew. It's like, oh, if you've never even looked into a 401k, this is why you should look into it,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mhm.
that's also a good type of information.
That is good type of information for sure.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
that's
you guys are right
helpful.
though. People don't do their own research before
they
even
don't.
just
They don't.
taking on like all these new investors that just bought into crypto just because there was hype in them. Like they all bought at a really high price. Like luckily I didn't buy at peak because I've been investing for a little while, but like all the new crypto like investors bought in at peak and then it like crashed.
Yeah, there's someone
Mhm.
right now who bought Bitcoin at 63K. And they are
Yeah.
still
Wait, what?
crying.
Wait, what?
I said there's someone right now who bought Bitcoin at 63K.
Oof.
Yeah, there's always going to be someone, right, who gets racked by the market.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, outside of this conversation, I just wanted to ask you, there's a huge, like, there's always been a huge discussion on this, but like, I recently made a video about it and I got some feedback on it, like from some people. I wanted to get your opinion on it. Like, what do you think of proof of work versus proof of stake? And like I was saying that proof of work is not sustainable at all right now. So like, what do you think is going on there? I just wanted to get your opinion on it.
So to be honest, when I first heard about proof of stake, I didn't really like it because I thought that the person who had the largest stake would then control the market because
Yeah.
coding and randomness into a blockchain is actually difficult.
Mm-hmm.
However, there have been advancements in proof of stake algorithms which have made it so that even though you might have the largest stake, you will not get selected to validate the node. So that
Yeah.
gave me more confidence in proof of stake algorithms. But at first, I was
Mhm.
100% like, but proof of work is the reason why this works, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if it's proof of stake, then there's someone who has vested interest and a lot of money and they can control how this works. And since there's
Yeah.
a separation of like mining and governance tokens, I am less I'm less nervous about that. So I do feel
Yeah.
like proof of stake is definitely a good advancement. However, proof of work has standed the test of time for the past
Mhm.
12 years. So I would need to see the same thing happen for proof of stake for me to feel 100% like
Yeah.
all blockchain should be proof of stake.
I mean, yeah, there's already been that kind of conversation in governance already, right? Like where
Yeah,
the large stakeholders and the largest nodes get to vote on everything, right? The direction of the entire
yeah,
project. So it's like that's already kind of been going on. So that's why I'm like, proof of stake's not that bad. If governance is already like that, like what difference is it making almost, right? But
yeah,
I guess it goes against the whole idea of decentralization. But
exactly.
also just proof of work it's just not sustainable right now, like especially like just how computers are working right now. Like it doesn't make sense. Like you just need higher and higher computational power and it just goes like infinitely, right? Like it's not going to go down. So it's like there needs to be some other solution.
Okay, well then let me ask this. What about proof of space and time?
Yeah, I didn't look too much into that. I heard about it,
So
but
Chia Network,
yeah.
it's like it was up to like $1,500 already. And
Mhm.
so theirs is not proof of work, it's not proof of stake, it's proof of time or space and time. So the mine like they're mining on the available hard drive space that they have,
Yeah.
the miners. So I don't know, it like that seems more sustainable, but like I also don't know much about that area.
Yeah, like I
I
haven't looked into it at all.
I
I'm
got
not
that
sure.
I
from
haven't listened to
Yeah.
it.
but you've heard of Chia Network, right? Or proof of space and
I
time?
I
Yeah.
have.
So
Yeah,
I
on
got
the
this
Yeah.
information from I think it's CryptoCita, the girl that does all the Ethereum mining.
Yeah.
You know who I'm
Yeah,
talking
no,
about,
someone
Alysia?
someone
Alysia, you're
commented on that video that I'm talking about. Like someone
No.
commented, "What do you think of space and time?" Right? But I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
I
Well,
don't know anything
I'll
about
send you
it.
the video when we get out.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, she's like a huge Ethereum miner. She has literally rigs like set up. She has
Love
all of these
it.
graphics cards, RJ, like a ton. But
Yeah.
now she bought a ton of like hard drive space so she can start mining Chia Network. And
Oh,
the way she was explaining it, it's just proof of space and time. So it's just using your empty hard drive space and not
yeah.
any like actual, it's not proof of work, so it's not taking up too much energy.
Mm,
So
Well, it
it's
is.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I did say Chia Network land a big investment today, so I
Oh, they
definitely look into
did.
that a bit more. Yeah. There's so many proof of insert the blank. There's proof of authority, and there's so much more. So I haven't listened to proof of space and time, so I'll definitely try. But I think if you are using your hard drive space, the more hard drives you have,
Right.
the
yeah, right.
more
Isn't that
opportunity
gonna
you
skew
have.
it regardless? I feel like they're always gonna try to break some rule, right? Like if
Yeah.
it's space, they'll get more space, you know?
Right.
You know, like it's just that simple. Like if it's literally anything, they're just gonna get more of it because they have more money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
and
that's how it
low
works.
key, I wanna start mining Chia Network. I wanna get some hard drives just to do that. Like I wanna get in
Awesome.
on the bottom.
Well,
I wanna
if you
get in
can
on the
get hard
bottom
drives,
floor.
there's no GPUs. So if you can get hard drives, go for it, dude. Like
Yeah, that's perfect.
Hard drives are everywhere, no?
probably. I don't know. I'm not sure about.
Probably.
I know that GPUs and like literally like processors are gone. Like those.
Can I do it on an external hard drive? Is the question. Or does it have to be
Hopefully.
a computer?
Yeah, I
But
don't
have
know.
you guys heard of the Helium network?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and apparently they're done mining, right? From
Oh,
what
they're
I've heard.
done. I was gonna ask, is that legit? Like, I want to do
I
that.
just heard that update. Yes, I don't know. Unconfirmed update again. I didn't do my research on it, so I'm not gonna say it 100%. So let me check.
How is that possible to be done with your mining?
So, but a Helium network is legit then. Like, I can just
Yeah.
get the little device thingy, and then I can just start mining.
Yeah, so just in the sense that the network works. So the point of it is you're giving internet to
How safe is that
IoT.
though?
Well, you're giving it to devices that have a particular software, and the
Okay.
blockchain is meant to like deal with the
Oh, okay.
security issues. But it's not going to send like files or anything over. It's more like collecting like sensor data, like very small kilobytes of data. The only issue with that is how many devices are dependent on Helium nodes. So from an investor perspective, should you buy HNT tokens? Maybe, maybe not. But if you want to mine it, definitely you can earn HNT tokens.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I really wanted to look into it. Like that CryptoCita girl really got me wanting to start mining everything because she has just rigs and rigs. And I'm like, girl, good for you. Good
Love
for
that.
you. Love that for her. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't seen her because she's a pretty big crypto creator. But I will send it to you when we're
Yeah,
done
send it
here.
to me for sure. I haven't seen her.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to ask you about like the upcoming like crypto events because I know you do like lives and you talk about like upcoming crypto events.
Yeah.
So what are the like big ones coming up?
So I normally do them week by week. So this one
Mhm.
today, Solana was meant to be listed on Coinbase Pro, which is massive because Solana has a very fast transaction speed, 50,000 per second. Yeah, I think 50,000 transactions per second. They're getting a lot of investment money right now. Currently, oh my gosh, you guys should so apply because currently they have a hackathon that's going on. So if you want to build for Solana, yeah, it's called Solana season. So that's going on right now.
I'm down.
Yeah, okay, so definitely I'll send you the link after. So there's that's happening this week. There's an airdrop for something called Key Swap that's happening this week as well. Tomorrow, there is supposed to be an initial stake offering for something called Sunday Swap, and that's on the Cardano blockchain.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story.
Yes, I wanted to get into it too. There's just so much out there that I like want to get into, but it's just there's a lot, you know, and I don't want to get fucked over at some point with something.
Yeah. I would say the biggest crypto event I'm looking forward to is in July, and that is the Ethereum hard fork. And with that hard fork, they're meant to implement some serious changes, which would reduce the supply of ETH by burning gas fees, and also they would make the size of the blocks dynamic, which means it will help with deal with network congestion and hopefully.
Oh yeah. So when is that? Did they set like a deadline for that yet? When that fork's happening, or?
So they normally select a block number.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's ballpark July, but the exact date we'll know sooner to it.
Yeah. So the reason is because if Ethereum can do that before Cardano releases their ERC20 smart contract stuff, that's gonna be huge. Like because they better try to beat Cardano, because I feel like if Cardano gets it out first, everyone's gonna move to Cardano. What do you think about that?
I heard some bad things about Cardano recently.
Ooh.
But go ahead. I want to hear your opinion.
Okay, so I do agree that Ethereum has lots of competition. So they need to get that out there pronto. Not just Cardano, there's also Binance Smart Chain, majority is taking some of the market share. Shit tokens, but let's not talk about that. And there are other blockchains as well. However, I don't think Cardano uses the Solidity programming language. And actually, I think
No,
they
yeah.
have they use something called OCaml, I think. I
Yeah.
can't remember
Yeah,
the
I
name of the
think-
language.
I think it's
It's
okay.
probably like some functional language, right? Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I don't code in that language. I don't know how many developers code in that language. So that's definitely a barrier to entry.
Yeah,
so
I think only the Ivy Leagues do that stuff.
Mhm.
The Ivy League people, they love that stuff. They love
Yeah.
functional programming.
So I reckon they can get over that by having like a hackathon with a massive
Yeah.
prize. But in general, you're not going to see people flocking to it because they wouldn't know how to. So they will
Mhm.
try, but they're not going to create apps at speed as they can create for Ethereum or even Binance Smart Chain, because Binance Smart Chain uses the Ethereum virtual machine, which means you can use Solidity. So
Yeah, no, like, because I was like, for my like startup stuff, I was looking into like ERC20, and it's like those gas fees were like gonna
Oh
kill
my
you, like on
God.
ERC20. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy. So then Cardano was like, yo, you can convert all your ERC20 contracts onto Cardano with our smart contract. And I'm like, dang, that's really enticing. That's supremely enticing.
It is.
But-
I remember the gas fees were so crazy, guys. Like
Mhm.
I was moving some coins so I can stake it and earn interest, and then it ended up taking half of my ETH. I was
Exactly.
like, what the fuck just happened?
Exactly.
I was like, did I read that right? Like what? I didn't
Yeah.
get anything out of this.
That's why, yeah.
no.
That's what really like scared me away from that, honestly. Like, I was honestly scared for my life, like how much money that's gonna cost. Like,
So what are you building your NFT platform on then? Which blockchain?
I don't know if we can talk about it after. I
Yeah,
don't know
let's
if I
talk
want to
about
that
mention it on the podcast.
Okay.
I'm not trying to
Cool.
talk about it on here, but
So
yeah,
question
no, I'll
then.
tell you after.
When a market is like this, right? What happens to my coins that are staked? Did they just earn interest on the lower price? That's all? Or does it still
So-
earn interest?
It's still, so when you say earn interest, are you staking your coins on a proof of stake blockchain, for
Yeah,
example? Are you
yeah.
okay? So one ADA token will always be one ADA token, no matter if one ADA, like if it's
Uh-huh.
Cardano,
Uh-huh.
like one ADA, because a Cardano token is called
Mhm.
ADA, one ADA will always be one ADA.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if the price of ADA is 1 cent or $1, you're still going to be making whatever the
Okay.
yield is there. So you don't have to worry about that. Well,
You know
do
what
in a
hurt
way.
me? Solana hurt me because like I bought Solana pretty recently,
Yeah.
and then now it's like down to like $20, I think, or something like that.
It's not 20. Nah, Solana is like 40.
Wait, what'd you buy
No,
it
it
at?
was
You bought
40
at-
something when I
You
bought it. It
at
was like
40 and it dropped. Oh
Yeah.
my god!
So like
You lost half your
Solana,
money.
but it's staking, and I know Solana is gonna actually do well. Like I actually believe in Solana a lot because of the whole transaction speed. So I think
Yeah.
like I'm not really worried about it. I know at some point I'll get my money back and then some. But yeah, that
Oh
one
yeah.
hurt.
Also, what do you guys think about staking on Coinbase and how Coinbase is gonna report it to the IRS for your taxes? Did you see that?
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah,
I was like, dude, who's gonna use Coinbase? I'm not gonna use who wants it to be reported to the IRS? Like,
No, thank you.
I
Well,
mean, but
first-
here's the thing. We're all gonna be fucked if we don't do our taxes right? So like, oof.
What do you mean? They can't track it. It doesn't matter.
Nah,
They can't track it, dude.
Or us.
They can.
They
Where
can't
did you
track it, dude.
buy your crypto?
Pars, where did you buy your crypto?
Was it? Oh, if you buy it like just store it on your local wallet, dude. Well, I guess that website.
Yeah, but you
would
still
have
have to
that
buy it from the
transaction, right?
exchange.
Yeah, I guess that exchange would have your information. But as long as they don't, maybe they will also report it to the IRS eventually. Then we're all
No,
screwed.
it's not they will eventually. It's like they're going to. So like yeah, you still have to purchase it from a
Dude,
exchange.
screw that, dude.
And
I'm
then,
gonna start purchasing from like a third party Cuban merchant. Like,
well, I mean, you can always use a VPN and do that, but we probably shouldn't even be talking about doing that on this podcast. 'cause
dude,
it's a
yes, we're
public
doing it,
podcast.
dude. I hope they look me up, dude. We get a whole like,
Taurus, we do not need to be flagged by the IRS right now and the FBI and the
dude.
CIA.
The IRS is so lazy, dude. There's a reason you have to pay for them to look at your taxes, dude.
Lol. I
They're
mean,
not
you
gonna
guys
do
can
anything.
also you can consider
Laundering
changing-
Bitcoin.
We can consider what?
changing your citizenship to another country.
Dude, yeah, I
if you
gotta
wanna
hop
pay.
out of the US, dude.
We're
I'm gonna go to
There's
Cuba.
Yeah, there's some countries.
You're gonna go to Cuba. You're done.
I can't
Send me
get
some
Like, it
Cuban
has to be a place
cigars.
that has
I can't get
crypto.
extradited. Like,
I mean, I mean, look, guys, Paras has already thought about this. He's like, Cuba is where I'm going. I've looked into extradition laws. They don't have one.
yeah, next
Wow.
time Elon tweets, I'm putting my life savings in Bitcoin, and then it's gonna go up. I'm gonna sell, and I'm gonna move to Cuba, dude. Simple as that.
All right.
Best life plan ever, right?
They
That's a
might
good
still
plan.
find you though, because you're not quitting this podcast. So we're gonna have to have to zoom you
But
in, dog.
they can't extradite me, so I'm all good. I'm gonna be chilling. They can't get me. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Even if they find me, they can't do anything. Like that was like when Snowden was in Russia. They knew where he was, but they couldn't do anything about it.
I mean, I guess, but in Russia, can you buy crypto in Russia?
No, you can't.
No?
I mean,
Can't.
you could if you have a VPN, but
Hey, remember you guys?
sometimes what they do is they like in like some of these like fascist / communist countries, what they do is they also team up with like the ISPs and they block certain like websites as well. Like not only like you can't go through a VPN, like they'll just block it. Like the whole ISP will block it. So it depends. You might be able to. You probably still can.
Well, Putin is the creator of Bitcoin. We all know this, so bro, like that's like one conspiracy. I'm like, you guys really want this to be true, huh?
He's Satoshi
Because like it would be
Nakamoto.
hilarious.
Dude, that'd be
What?
crazy. He's Satoshi Nakamoto, dude. That'd be insane.
That'd be hilarious. Did you
That'd
guys
be hilarious.
read that book?
Huh?
Did you guys read the Snowden book?
No.
Oh no, I haven't read it.
Wait, what did it say?
No.
No, let's not talk about it because I didn't even think Americans can read it. Like, I don't think you guys can get access to the book.
What?
It's blocked in America.
What is the
Wait,
name of it? What?
What's it called? I want to try to get to it. Let's try to get to it.
No, let's try to get it.
I don't know
Fuck
what
it.
it's called.
Fuck it,
dude.
let's
Watch
be controversial here.
The CIA, dude. The CIA is gonna come for me now, dude. Like they're
Guys,
coming.
what?
I already said I'm gonna avoid IRS taxes on crypto.
I think the
Yeah.
book is just called Snowden.
Dude, CIA is done with me, dude. They're gonna get me, dude.
Why
I
don't
mean,
we have
Snowden
access
book.
to it?
I heard that you guys don't because I remember I got it in the UK and someone was telling me like they
Wait,
were
is it
American
called
and they were
permanent?
saying,
Is it called permanent record?
I need to see the cover one sec.
It's
I
just
don't
his
remember.
face. Like he's just like.
If it's
Yeah,
his
I
face,
really-
then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because they
It's on
don't
Google
want me
Play.
to read it,
It's
I
on
want to read
Google
it.
Play.
It
Ah,
is?
okay,
$7.
cool.
It's 14
Okay.
bucks on Google Play.
Okay,
It's
never
$8 on Amazon. So
All right, I'm gonna read it. Is it free on Kindle? Can you check?
mind.
let's see. Wait,
Um,
he actually has 2 books. Looks like. I'm not sure which one though. Which one?
So,
Which
I
one
mean,
is it, dude?
No
if they
place
try
to
come out-
hide. Is that the one?
There's 2. So there's permanent record and no place to hide. Which one is it?
I think it's
Probably no
Permanent
place to
Record.
hide. Oh,
I think it's the one
Permanent
where it's like
Record.
his face just like
Amazon.
I think
let's see
the
how much
other
it's
one
on
isn't
Amazon.
by Snowden. It's like a biography.
So Kindle's $11.99, Krystal.
ew! I would never pay that much for a book.
I know a website to get free books, but we can talk about that later since the CIA is
Yo!
actually.
Yeah,
The
let's
CIA
just
is
You're
actually
incriminating
gonna come for me,
drop all
dude.
of
so
our
much
criminal
today.
activities. Yeah, like let's.
The CIA is actually.
You're
gonna
making
come
it
for me
easy
now.
for them to find you.
I guess we're gonna cut this part out, dude. because I don't want the CIA coming for me.
Nah.
Yeah,
We need a
yeah.
little controversy, right?
Dude, they're gonna come for me, dude.
They are
They're
gonna
gonna be
come
like,
out. They don't
"Yo."
care about you, dog. Like, let's
For
be honest.
now.
Will they ever see this video? 99% now.
We have
But-
less than 100 subs, guys. I think we're safe.
But
then
if we
this
got
video is the one
famous,
that
no,
blows
that's the
up.
thing. Yeah, watch. If we got famous, someone would dig up this video and send it to the CIA, dude.
So
That's
let's
what would
keep
happen.
talking about our criminal activity.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we can discuss where you can get free books later. I actually made
Sure.
a video about it. I
Okay.
made a video about it though. I made a video about it. So I don't know. I guess I already made a TikTok about it a while ago. It didn't get that many
Yeah.
views though.
Just send her the TikTok. Make it
Yeah,
easier.
so many videos now. I can't even find it probably.
Probably not. So I just let me ask you what your top like projects are that are in your crypto portfolio.
Crypto projects.
Are they top because they're long hold, or are they top because I have a massive share?
Top because
What's your favorite?
Yeah, what's like the ones that you believe has the most
Mhm.
potential to be successful and like not go to zero, you know? Like actual like ones with actual like, ones with actual utility
The ones
that,
you're not gonna short. The ones you're not gonna short on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Honestly, Ethereum is my baby. I'm very biased to Ethereum.
That's what's
And I
up.
think it's because it already has a market share.
Right.
Of course, we know the gas fees are horrendous, but we do know improvements are coming. So I am very bullish on Ethereum, I would say, because majority of the projects are created on Ethereum. People are
Mhm.
copying the Ethereum blockchain to create projects.
Yes.
The banks are. So for me, it's like, yes, there's so many exciting projects. I love Solana and all that good stuff, but Ethereum has proven its value. And for that reason, I
Exactly.
would continue to invest into it whilst investing into others, but Ethereum is definitely being used. And I think that is massive. There are so many projects, and I think people forget to check to see if it's being used. Even if you see that a company has a partnership, it might not mean anything. So Ethereum, number one.
Okay.
Chainlink, I really like as well, because Chainlink makes sense to me.
Oh, I have a
Mhm.
rebuttal for that one.
Okay, let me hear.
API 3.
Ooh, okay. So I actually did analyze API 3 and I spoke to their team, and their project is really cool. And what I like about it is because they're trying to disincentivize people from providing bad data. That's one good thing. And the second good thing is that they make it really easy for someone who's a data provider to connect to their system. I think that's really cool. However, I don't think that they penalize the data provider as well as they should or at all. And when I spoke to them about it, their reasoning is because if you're a data provider, you have a massive brand. You don't want to provide bad data because that wouldn't just be bad for the particular applications, but it would be bad for your brand. And whilst I get that, I thought that it would be good for them to be disincentivized as well, because you trust no one. There can be a company, you can decide one day that they don't give a shit about their brand. So for that reason, I like API 3, but I think that's like a negative for me.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah,
there's always people who are gonna take advantage of the flaws.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen. They probably don't see it right now, but they're gonna add it later. It doesn't matter if they don't see it right now. I feel like something's gonna happen where someone's gonna mess with the entire network, and it's not gonna be good.
Exactly. But for users of API 3, I do like that idea of built-in insurance. I think that's really, really great because Chainlink doesn't have that.
Okay.
So Ethereum, Chainlink, Polygon, because of what Polygon is doing for Ethereum right now, faster transactions, lower gas fees, and it will also be the internet of blockchains. So those are like my more like comfortable, stable positions. Obviously Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is kind of boring, let's be honest. But obviously Bitcoin.
For real.
You know why? It's because we're developers, right? And you can't do anything with it. That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I never cared about crypto until I learned about Ethereum.
Exactly.
So,
I'd like to go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just gonna say, like, for my more exciting projects, I really, really love Engine because I love the application of blockchain and gaming. Because a lot of people who participate in blockchain now, they're investors, and that's cool. I invest too. But because we're developers, we like the idea of creating. And gamers, they form communities around projects that, for me, make no sense, and for them, make a lot of sense. So the idea of getting the stickiness of blockchain, either maybe because of NFTs or whatever reason they choose to use a blockchain for their game. People who are using that game or playing that game, they don't care that it's blockchain, but they're attached to their game. But once a blockchain has that stickiness to that platform, then the use cases and the usage will just continues to rise as the game itself becomes popular. So I really love Engine for that, because with the Engine platform, you can create games and not create games, but you could create collectibles on the blockchain just using their platform. They're launching their own blockchain this year. They normally create tokens on Ethereum, but they created a thing to like get tokens off of Ethereum because of gas fees, obviously. So yeah, I really, really like Engine for that reason. And yeah.
Okay, then let me list some coins that a lot of kids have questions about, right?
Sure.
XRP being
kids
one
got
of them.
Questions about these.
They do
not
have
grown adults, kids.
Adults as well, trust me.
Adults as well, but I would still consider anyone on TikTok. I'm just gonna say kids, okay? We're all kids. So XRP.
Okay, XRP. I just want to put a disclaimer out that XRP had its all-time high in 2018 of $3 and something cents.
Wow.
So when you see people shilling XRP on TikTok, because the XRP community on TikTok is aggressive.
Oh, so aggressive.
I need to recognize these people.
You know
bags.
one creator that I'm talking about. That one dude. You know who I'm talking about.
Really? Yeah.
There's one guy that's like a maximalist, like XRP
really?
Everything.
Yeah. So as a result, you're going to see a lot of shilling, and that's not great for people who are none the wiser. Now let's talk about XRP as a project. We know that they're being sued, so that alone makes it an extra risky investment. Crypto is already risky, but then they're being sued. And the SEC does not play. They have not lost a case against a crypto company to this day. Like most companies just settle or they just squash their project altogether. So I want XRPs to win for the health of the crypto community. But if they're gonna win, I don't know.
Dude,
So
the SEC's got no chill, man. They got no chill.
Oh, they do.
Chill.
Yeah,
they got
don't.
no chill.
I know someone that used to work for Ripple, and he said it's a scam. So,
well, a lot of people say Ripple's a mess, but
Ripple is a mess because
I don't know if it's a
not
scam.
really decentralized.
That's pretty crazy. That they
It's
say
not-
it's a scam.
Well, let's talk about the technology. So when Ripple first came out, or when I first learned of it, I wasn't interested because it wasn't decentralized. And you know me as a tech person, I'm like, decentralize all the things. So I never thought of it as a serious investment. But when you actually look at what they do have clients in Asia, so that's a good sign. They do pay some of their clients to use their platform. That's not a good sign. So they were paying MoneyGram, for example. But the XRP token is simply used as an IOU within the platform. And yes, it's private. The blockchain is public, meaning everyone can see the transactions, but you have to be a confirmed validator, which is basically all the banks and Ripple who are the validators for these nodes. So really and truly, it's not like an open blockchain as we'd like it to be. The XRP token is used as an IOU, which means it does have utility. But at the same time, it really just means that Ripple is kind of the middleman who has like a nice software for all of these companies to use. If you look into what American Express does, American Express has like a similar system, but without blockchain. So what Ripple is doing is not necessarily bad. Like it is still innovative. They use blockchain technology to solve a problem. That's good. Should we be buying XRP tokens as investors? I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I don't. I have some in my Coinbase wallet that I'm locked out of because I accidentally logged out and I don't have my ID yet. But I bought it like when it was like nothing. So it's really just gains at this point. So I'm not really worried about it.
Yeah.
So what about VeChain? Because like recently, I know a lot of people are really down with VeChain, but VeChain recently had said some stuff about working with companies like Salesforce and all this, but it's not actually legit. I don't know.
So when you go on VeChain's list of partnerships, they do have a lot of partners. The Salesforce one is a proof of concept. So it's legit in the sense of there are two companies who are talking about using VeChain to solve a problem for Salesforce. The proof of concept is not like a ground-breaking change for Salesforce. I think they were planning to use it for, I can't remember the use case, but it was like a proof of concept.
I don't know. Can you tell us, Paris?
No, I don't know anything about this. Actually,
okay.
I don't even know what VeChain is. All I've heard is VeChain's scammy. That's all I've heard.
What? Okay,
it's only because of the Salesforce thing, I think, and like a McDonald's thing back in the day.
I know nothing about it though. So I don't know.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I should look into the Salesforce thing.
You should.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you work for Salesforce, right?
Yeah. I literally sent you that thing so you can look into it. You never even replied.
I never looked into it, dude.
This fucking guy. Anyway, go on, Alysia. Sorry.
It's a supply chain blockchain, and when you read their white paper, it's kind of impressive because they thought about the companies first and they create a service that's like blockchain as a service. So Paras, if you do actually read the Salesforce article, you would see that the guy who chose the VeChain blockchain as the blockchain of choice, he said the reason why he chose VeChain is because it's so easy to integrate with. So I don't know why people are saying it's a scam. Maybe because they thought the partnership was going to be something massive, but they didn't read. They just read the headline and they're disappointed.
All right.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I forgot what else is in my portfolio. I forgot. Is XLM, by the way, is XLM actually into the Ukraine thing? Like Ukraine government is like turning XLM into their like digital currency.
Oh, that's sick.
So
Are
like
they actually doing that? Is that
I
real?
think so. I think that's going to be their digital currency,
Dude, that's sick.
right?
That's why I eventually think the US is gonna do. I don't think they actually like Bitcoin. I feel like the US is gonna create their own version thing going on. That's why I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Like,
Because like, you know, like all these like countries, they want to do it like their own way. So I feel like they'll standardize something. And if they do use blockchain, which looks like the SEC is somewhat open to it because they've been allowing certain businesses to have like crypto payments, and then they've been taxing those. So looks like they're somewhat open to the possibility. So they might do it. I don't know. We'll find out in
Yeah.
a few years, I guess.
But I mean, we all love Polkadot though, right? Web3 is fine. Someone tried to tell me, I forgot who it was. Someone tried to tell me Polkadot's not legit. It's like,
people throw words around. You need to understand what people mean when they say it's a scam. It's not legit. Because I think people just say things that are just buzzwords. Like, what do you mean? What is not legit about
The
it?
thing is like the thing is like every crypto has been labeled a scam. So it's like you can't even like say, yeah, like I was just saying VeChain, all I heard is it's a scam, right? Like
yeah.
that's what you hear about everything. It's like,
Right.
oh,
I've
Bitcoin's a
never
scam,
heard
Ethereum's a
that.
scam. Like everyone says it's a scam, dude.
What about the graph? Like the graph or H bar? Like I have graph. I'm into graph because that's literally going to be like indexing for the entire Web3. So
I like the graph because the graph literally takes my job. Like that's literally what I did. That's literally what I did in my job.
She's like,
right?
screw that, dude. I has to have a job out here, man.
So I like it. So the use case makes sense to me. But how much is being used, that's what I need to find out. Like it's been around for a bit. I don't really see, maybe it's just something that people aren't reporting. Right now in a bull cycle, so there's a lot of competition for someone to hit, the front page of coindesk.com for sure. So I think with the graph, I like what they're doing. It makes sense to me as a use case. I've invested into the graph token, but I need to see more use case. I need to see how it's actually being used.
Definitely.
What about H bar? I heard H bar, H bar was like a really hypey thing for a while because everyone was kind of talking about it. And then I looked into it, I bought some, but then I got rid of it because it was on one of my shitcoin lists, like when this crash happened. So I just let it go. I didn't know where it was going to actually go. So
if you have H bar, it's definitely a longer term hold. There are smart contract platforms adding to the list of many smart contract platforms.
Okay.
It's a group of like 37 companies that come together to advise a project, Google being one of them, University College London is another one, I think IBM. And one thing that I find really interesting about them, they do have a fast transaction speed, not as fast as Solana, but they do, I think it's like 20,000 transactions per second. Don't quote me, I might be wrong.
Okay.
But one thing that I find interesting is that they do have KYC and anti-money laundering built in. And that will be really important for the future of depending on how regulations go. And I'm sure they're going to heavily, as much as they can, the government's going to try to regulate.
Yeah.
So when I say the government, I mean the US government. So I think for that reason, I think HBAR could go places.
Okay.
But that's a long-term play.
That is a long-term play. That's like you gotta hodl that forever.
Dude, I think all of crypto is long-term. Like
true.
I'm not saying like I'm
ones
not
with
seeing us
utility,
actually use crypto like everywhere. I'm not saying it like minimum it's gonna take 5 years. I'm saying like where it's like the government has to implement all the regulations on every payment system, all this stuff. Like, it's like it's gonna take way longer than what we think. Like we've been seeing it slowly trickle in. But I'm thinking it's gonna take at least a few more years to be like, okay, everyone's kind of used to using it, all the time.
Yeah. I actually think sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I actually think the real mainstream adoption of crypto would happen when people don't even realize they're using it. And I think the first place that might happen would be in gaming, because I think in gaming, you don't give a shit, but you care about your collectibles.
Yeah.
More so than finance. There's less regulation required as well to have like a blockchain collectible in a game. So
it kind of makes sense though, right? Because it's digital currency. So like having it.
Yeah, it makes sense right away, right?
You know? Yeah.
I think another easy way to do it is if they can create some kind of system where it can work like Apple Pay or Android Pay. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? If that
BitPay?
happens, I think, yeah, BitPay, right? If that happens, I think that's gonna be a big jump in people using it because if they're like,
Mm,
oh, I can actually use this like real money now. You know what I'm saying? Like
well,
where that like transition happens in your mind where
yeah.
it's like, oh, I can pay for this coffee right now with Bitcoin, like right now. You know what I'm saying? Like when that happens, I think that's gonna be a huge step.
I see mainstream adoption happening when regulations actually come. Because then that's like the government kind of giving the
Oh,
stamp
like
of
yeah,
approval,
when they're like,
saying
oh,
like
this is
it's
cool.
legitimate enough for
Yeah,
us to regulate. You know
that's
what I
true.
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that's when that's actually going to happen. There's someone in chat. Daisy is asking, what do you think about the Tether fraud scandal that's happening right now? What are your thoughts on it?
What
Uh,
happened with him?
Before I jump into that, I just want to say something that Paris said. You can actually use crypto with your Apple Pay because you can have like a Visa backed crypto card and connect that to your Apple Pay and
Oh
then pay
yeah,
crypto.
yeah, you can.
So
Yeah, and I think also
yeah,
Mastercard now, right? Too,
yeah,
as well.
I have
So
I
yeah,
have a crypto.com card that I use. So like I
okay,
technically
yeah.
technically
That
just
that is pretty cool. Yeah, I guess it's getting there, right? Like it's getting there.
yeah,
a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people are using it already.
yeah,
It's technically a prepaid card, but like
yeah,
you can sell your
exactly.
crypto and
Yeah.
then get and then use it.
So
So
yeah.
yeah. So what was the question from Daisy again? Sorry.
so the tether
What was going
the
on
Oh,
there?
tether
Can you
fraud
explain what
scandal that's
happened with
happening
there?
right now.
Can you explain what happened? I
um,
don't know what happened.
so I think I can't remember what happened with the lawsuit, but they had a lawsuit with some other company, and I can't remember. And basically, the whole issue people are having with Tether is whether or not they actually are backed by US dollars. So that Tether is a stable coin, and how it works is that one token is meant to be backed with one US dollar. So if there are 500 Tether tokens, then there should be 500 US dollars sitting in a bank account. Now, is that the case? Je ne sais pas. And that's why a lawsuit, that's why there was a lawsuit that happened. I think last year they kind of settled on it. And it was them and another company because I think they were lending money to that next company. And there was a whole bunch of drama. And in the end, the agreement was that Tether would then have to report their bank statements quarterly to prove that the number of Tethers in circulation matches what's in their bank account. And then they did do their report, I think, at the end of March or whenever it was. And apparently the report looked hella like
Suspicious.
yeah, it didn't look like
Yeah.
professional at all. It was like just some pie charts and like something that just didn't really make
Man.
sense.
Yeah.
So I didn't look into it personally, so I can't really give you much more information about that. It makes sense to me that there might be issues there because we are trusting Tether to have this money back. And Tether is a
Hmm.
company, and technically they don't necessarily make money from issuing tokens. They make money if they can take the US dollars and invest it somewhere. So maybe they're
Yeah.
doing a bit of that. I'm not too sure. But the reason why that's a problem is because if everyone today decides to cash out their Tether tokens to US dollars,
They don't
that would
actually
be a
have the
problem.
money, right? It's
Exactly.
like just like the bank, right? Like that's why you can't just say, "Hey, let me take out all my 100,000 right now," right? Like it depends on how much they insure, like that you can take out at once, right? Like I think
50K.
so a lot of yeah, I think a lot of banks do have like the 100K. If it's like a million, you can't take out a million all at once.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Are you invested in any other cryptos aside from Ethereum and Bitcoin, Paris, by the way? He's a Bitcoin
Um,
maximalist.
no, I'm only yeah, I'm only in Ethereum and Bitcoin. I used to be in what was that coin called? I used to have some Doge. I sold it a while. I sold it years ago though. Like when I heard about Doge, it was in high school. Like that was
Yeah.
when
Wow, that's really cute.
the
Yeah.
Doge. That's when it first like arose, right? Like everyone was talking about Doge when so that was like what, like 2013, 14, I don't know when. But
What
it was
about you,
hype back
Andrew?
then.
What are your thoughts on the whole cryptocurrencies, investing, building apps? How do you feel about it?
Sorry, I've been really quiet. Yeah, I think it's really interesting for sure. I think there's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now for that. I was talking to
Yeah.
my coworker about the possibility of cryptocurrency replacing like the US dollar or just like any physical
Mhm.
form of currency. Before I talked to him, I always thought that like there was a good chance. But he brought up some good points. Like one of the good points he brought up, like, what if the internet goes down? Like, I know it's not really likely,
Yeah.
but like he was like, well, there's some examples. So for example, like Hurricane Katrina, or there's some natural disaster,
Yeah, it takes out the
like
entire network, right?
it takes out the
Yeah.
network. So like he brought up some good points. I'm just like, now I'm not so sure. But
Yeah.
like I guess like I'm curious like what your thoughts are. Like, do you think that cryptocurrency will ever like just remove physical currency in the long run, or there will always be both crypto and physical?
Well, I think there is definitely perks to having physical currencies for the reasons I used state. But there are actually some countries, I think Sweden being one of them, that are pretty much near to being a cashless society without crypto because they're just handling
Mhm.
transactions with their cards anyway. So they still depend on the whole internet system anyway. So it's still the same problems that they would face if there were to
Yeah.
be, you know, countrywide
Yeah.
shutdown of the internet. Also, there's satellite internet as well. I don't know how well that works in terms of internet connection, but there's a
Yeah.
blockchain project actually called Syntropy that is working on making that whole satellite internet happen, and they have a partnership with SpaceX as well. So that should be something interesting to look into. So I think there definitely are limitations to having anything completely digital, whether it be your
Yeah.
records or money. But I
Yeah,
do
I
believe
think,
we're
yeah.
engineering solutions. So a cashless society, I can definitely see. And I think if the governments are really smart, they would actually prefer a cashless society because to this day, I think money
Exactly.
can be laundered much more easily or can be laundered much more efficiently than it can be with digital currencies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, it's almost impossible, right? Like, unless you have the two identical hashes on Bitcoin or something, right? Like, you can't replicate it basically. But
yeah,
what is it called? Like, also like I think the worry of like the entire internet going down is like pretty unlikely. It hasn't gone down like entirely so far. You know what I'm saying?
It's
I don't know.
unlikely that it's just gonna just be gone.
Like it's
You
gonna
know?
be gone,
Like
right?
yeah,
Like that's
out
super
of
unlikely.
nowhere, just
Also, I think benefit would be is if it was like globally mined or something, right? Like if there's a global network of these nodes where which like a lot of like cryptos are like Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, right? But like if it was made by the government, maybe it wouldn't be globally mined. So that's what would maybe limit the network in that case, right? Like maybe the US network could go down, right? Because everyone's in the US or something. I don't
yeah.
know how that would work, right?
yeah, true. That is true.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we covered a lot here, guys.
Yeah, we did. We went
Like
everywhere.
honestly, I can literally go on for days, but we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna hold you
Yeah.
hostage, Alicia. But this just means we need you
You know,
back for a
yeah,
part
basically we
two.
want Alysia
For
back on
sure.
the podcast.
Woohoo.
Maybe we
So
just make Alicia like a monthly guest to have crypto talk. I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know.
that could be fun.
yeah, no, I mean we could create like we could create a segment, crypto talk or
Yeah,
something.
we
I don't
could
know.
do like a whole
We can name
segment
it.
with you.
We can name it
Like if you're down, that'd be fun. That'd be
DeFi
actually
update. We call it the DeFi update.
DeFi update.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Well, we will talk
Um,
about that for
but
sure.
yeah, awesome having you. Yeah.
So much
All
for
right. Do we want to
joining.
wrap it?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Do you have
Thank you
anything you
guys
want to
for
plug though?
listening
Sorry.
and watching. Oh yeah, Alysia, do you want to plug anything real quick before we wrap
Oh,
it?
geez.
I know you have a
Follow.
Discord that you just started, right?
Oh yeah, shit. Thank you so much. So I just started a Discord. It's called Crypto Natives. And the point is to get people who want to not just invest in crypto, but also use crypto. So we're going to be talking about blockchain gaming and stuff in there. So check my links in my bios on my TikToks, which is CryptoClasses.
We'll link everything in the description
Okay.
below. So check that
Awesome.
I'll
out.
do that.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Uh,
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening / watching. And yeah, we'll be back to you next week, I guess. Right. All right. Yeah. Thanks again.
I
Alysia.
guess.
All right.
I guess we'll come back. We're not sure.
I guess. I'm not sure. Right. Like
Bye, guys. This was fun.
Bye.
Coming,
This was so
Alicia.
Yeah, bye,
fun.
guys.
Thank you for
Thank you,
having
guys.
me, guys.
Bye.
Bye.